I was wrong in doing what I did.
No! Are you listening?
Hang on, I can't even catch my breath. Hang on.
Sean here, and man, did we learn a lot about Lorne Lynn Armstrong this year. I think one of the funniest ones, his integrity is not doing the right thing when no one is looking. No. His integrity is saying the right thing when no one is listening. When he's talking to his therapist or psychologist or polygrapher or whoever it is, probation, and he's admitting these fucking disgusting thoughts. Fuck you, fuck Xavier, both. When he's talking to them, he'll tell the truth. When he thinks no one else can hear him. And then, when he gets out into society, because society try to push him apart, when he gets out into society, he lies. He won't even tell the women he's trying to get with the truth. It's gonna come out. Because if he got with these women, now here's the deal, Lorne. If you get with these women, you're gonna have another polygraph test. And this is a huge deal for Casey. So you think when she comes out there, you're gonna go and have another polygraph test. You're gonna give your answers and she's not gonna want to know what they are. She's not gonna want to see the sheets. I think that would be the first thing. And you lied when she said, this is a big deal to me. And Lorne's like, I know, that's a great thing that it's a big deal to you. He tries to take every shitty thing in his life and turn it into this big positive that he's in control of. See, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping it'd be a big deal to you. I was hoping you would solely focus on the fact that I said I was attracted to children, that my name is Lorne Armstrong, and I was masturbating to Little House on the Prairie and a 9-year-old girl singing the national anthem. We learned that Lorne is so desperate. He knows he's desperate. But we also know he thinks these catfish are real. He's almost smart, almost gets it. So people who think he's just going along with it because he's hoping, that may be part of it. But Lorne thinks that the woman, even if she's a catfish, that he's talking to the woman behind the catfish. I truly believe he thinks that's how their connection is. Not that they're a catfish, but the fact that they're taking time out of their busy schedule to talk to this superstar from NBC, that he's talking to that woman, and that woman is going to see the real him. It's going to see the man that is going to love her for the rest of her life, who's going to obsess over her, who's going to stalk her at every turn. We also learned that Paula is exactly who I said she was, and exactly what happened. Now, it may have been told a little differently, but he did everything that I said that I was told. He's a stalker, and he invents these relationships in his head, as we've talked about. He believes that if I'm interested in you, you should stop everything that you're doing and be interested in me. I think my favorite Lorne quote about Paula was that she was just using her ex-fiance or ex-boyfriend or whoever it was, whatever he titled them as, for sex. But Lorne, you said you had sex with Paula, so why would she be using this guy for sex? Huh. Could that be another lie, Lorne? Could that be another bullshit story? We also learned that you let Nikki borrow some money, and you thought because you gave her money, because I don't think she borrowed it, you gave it to her, because she took money from you that she now owes you, that you guys are bonded for life. There's some kind of life debt there, and that gives you the right to stalk her, to go to her work, to call her repeatedly at work, at home, to send her messages, leave notes on her car. You think that gives you the right to do that, and she took out a restraining order on you. Now, I have news for you, Lorne. You could go to the police and you could say I let her borrow a bunch of money, but you didn't do that. No. You didn't do that because you know it's a lie. You know, in your head, you gave her that money. So if you were to go there and tell these cops, yes, I gave her money, so I was going and trying to get it back. Lorne, you can't take a gift back, my friend. It's called a gift for a reason. I mean, the politically incorrect term used to be Indian giver. I know that's not acceptable now, but that's what it was called back in the day. Lorne, you gave her a gift, so you can't claim that she owes you something. And I truly think that that's the root of his problem. He gave his siblings money and thought they owed him something. We've talked about this. You've talked about this. He went vegan for Ramona, and he thought that meant she owed him something. He talked to her on the phone. He devoted himself to her, so of course he thinks she owes him something. So much stuff was confirmed this year. So much stuff. In that psych report, in his polygrapher report, Casey and Heilborn, just my heroes right now. I love them. I don't care if they like me. I don't care if they ever like me. I truly appreciate them. And I just have to say again, what a gift that was to prove that he's still the same guy, even though they tried to help him. And I think Heilborn, whoever was playing the robot, was trying to help him, trying to let him see, Will, God, I want a friend like Will. I want a guy to pull me aside and go, man, your whole life is fucked up. Let me tell you why. Point out what's going on. Point out what's going wrong. Try to help me, but Lorne didn't want that. All he cared about was Jamie. And he didn't even care about that. So the bottom line is that we had two people desperately trying to help this guy. Yes, they were having some fun with him. Casey, all she had to do was mention another guy, and he went mental. Jamie was a porn star. Lorne had already created a tempest in his head. We finally got to see that he created a tempest in his head. He knew he couldn't handle that situation, but he put himself in that situation anyway, proving that he is an 87, that he creates his own drama, his own problems. He still thinks, no matter what anyone says, that Winnie is real. I don't know how he reasoned it out in his head that Emma is actually a persona of Winnie, but he still falls for stuff. He still says, I shouldn't talk to strangers. Well, I just talked to a stranger. He's getting letters in the mail with phone numbers and addresses and names that he says are real names. Come on, man. How many times does this have to happen? A lot of you guys are right. As much as I hate to admit that Slash is right, my imaginary one-sided feud with him is so epic. He's right. He is going to die early. But he's also right in stating, I think it was him, because he actually responded to me in the chat, that Lorne will outlive every good person that's ever been on this planet. My mom died, I think she was 74 of cancer, second bout. Sorry, I had to think for a second. Yeah. No, 73, because my dad died at 74. I'm so sorry, you guys don't need to know this, but she died of cancer. This wonderful woman who had delivered babies and given everything she had to the homeless, to the poor, donated all of her time, cleaned toilets for the church when nobody else would. This was my mom. Dealt with me, treated me, an adopted kid, the same as... I'm telling you right now, this wonderful woman, and Lorne will probably outlive her. Mama Gwen, I don't know what kind of woman she was, but she deserved better than Lorne. So many people deserve better than him, and he's going to outlive them all because he's a cockroach. I don't understand the way the universe, I don't know if it's a big joke, they think it's hilarious, but it will probably happen, and Slash will be right, and I'll have to imaginary hate him even more. We also learned there's a growing number of Lorneographers in the community. Okay, so true story. I have a behavioral medicine. She's this wonderful woman that has been helping me get my life in order for a long time. She's the one who talked me into getting my degree because she thought it might help me, and it has. So she asked me what I'm doing. She asked me what I was doing. I don't feel comfortable sharing her name, but she is a wonderful woman. She asked me what I've been doing. I told her about the channel. I told her about my videos and about all the other awesome people. And I tried to explain to her who Lorne was. I got a blank stare. So I went into more detail and I said, let me describe him this way. The way I describe him to everybody is that you listen to him and you can't believe he's a real person. So she asked me what kind of videos. I told her I'd been doing some breakdown videos and a lot of theory videos because those are more fun to me. Although I do have a Spectrum video that I am going to make before Christmas, and I have been writing something I hope to have ready for Christmas. But he's the guy you just can't believe exists. And sometimes I wonder if his family is like, is he real? I mean, is he trolling all of us? We've also gotten a growing number of females that are joining the Lorneography community and creating content. It's awesome to hear, like, not just Babsby, but you've got Equal Little McNuggets and Vex, Cyber Squeak, Callie Slimebucket Witch Lady, who is just awesome. She's so awesome. But they've joined the community, and I get to listen to them because I've always wanted to know what women actually think about him, and it's hard to get it in the chat. You can't type quick enough to express your feelings. And if anyone posts in the comments that they think I should stream and they would be willing to be a guest on it, I will do it. So many of you have left some great comments. And I'm kind of struggling right now with depression, so I haven't really responded because I'm manic. I'm having really, really positive thoughts and then crashing. And it's really tough. I'm tearing up right now talking about it, and I'm not ashamed of that. That's just dealing with holiday doldrums, the holiday depression, mood swings. I love the holidays, but again, you're worried about other people's joy so much. Sometimes you forget to keep yourself happy. There are moments, and I think we are all this way, listening to him talk to the robot and talk to Casey, who by all accounts is a strong, independent woman, the personification of it, and listening to him disrespect her, try to manipulate her, lie. I think he lies so much to her that it just gets on our nerves. His lying has gotten worse because his life has gotten worse. And the worse his life gets, the more he's going to lie to try to justify it to himself. He's going to try to convince himself that he's not the colossal fuck-up that he actually is. But that's not going to happen because we know he's created all of this himself. Still talks about Xavier. Jesus Christ, it is 2022. And he's still talking about Xavier. I have no problem calling him, with the assistance of others of course, and being Xavier, and having a real conversation with him, using logic, reason. I would even tell him, you're right, Lorne. We have tried, since you got busted, to get your life back on track, to put you in situations where you're just going to have to change, and you're going to have to get smarter, but you're still doing it. And the beauty of that phone call would be that I wouldn't be real, and he would be talking to me. I would tell him, don't hang up, Lorne. I'm not trolling you. I want to have a conversation. You've been mentioning my name for a long, long time. I did some of those things, but I did not do the others. So I want to hash this out with you, and I want to figure out what it is that you think I did, and I don't want to argue with you. I want to reconcile and just have a conversation. And the reason I would do this is to get him to go from point A to blame everything he thinks that happened that was Xavier's fault, to blame it on Xavier, and to let the world hear it. Tell us what is Xavier's fault, Lorne. I think the more we talk, the more things he would remember, and the more things he would just throw Xavier's name in. Well, you did this too. I know you're behind this. You're the hacker. You're this, you're that. I don't care, because if I was ever pulled in front of a court, I would have said, Your Honor, if you go back and listen to those tapes, I'm somebody who just wanted him to change. I was speaking for hundreds of people trying to get this guy to change. But we know he won't. We know he'll stay the same. And even talking to the real Xavier, because if you're trying to talk to him face to face, he'd lock himself. I'm not coming out. You're probably going to try to do some Xavier shit. You're probably going to try to get me to say something. And it would be because he's scared. We learned that his rage, he's learned to hide it a little bit more because he knows how these females are reacting to it. He knows they're getting more and more angry the more he speaks. He tries to go to the I'm smarter than you rather than let me scream. And I think Lorne truly believes if he doesn't yell, they don't hear him. The reason they don't hear him is because he's not yelling. I think that might be the case. We also know a bunch of other reasons why, but I still think he's been drinking. I still think he drinks. I think he drinks in small amounts. I think he's figured out a way to drink just enough where he can still pass the polygraph test. If you ever, well, I was in the Marines. I can name one person who I know had smoked a joint. I didn't see it. And because I didn't see it, I have to ask them. So I asked them. They said no. There were so many eyewitnesses, but they said no. They took a drug test and they passed. And the point I'm making is that if Lorne has figured out a way to do that, if Lorne has figured out a way to pass that polygraph, then I think he would continue drinking. He would drink at small amounts that he wouldn't think he was actually getting drunk, that he wouldn't think he was drinking, and he might be able to pass the polygraph. If I lived in the area, I'm not lying, just for the shit of it, for about a week I would check his garbage. Well, I don't know, they put it out once a week maybe. Then again, Lorne's trailer is garbage. It would be hard to determine what's actually his trailer and what's actually trash. Meaning that Lorne literally is trailer trash. I'd like to see if there were empty containers there. And I've wondered if he didn't smoke weed, if that was his go-to. I don't think he could afford it. I think beer is much easier. I don't know if Lorne's on food stamps. None of this I've ever asked. None of this I've sought out answers for. But I've wondered if he's living off the government or trying to. Because I think it was Jamie in one of Hilborn's videos that was talking about him not having a job for a long time and being on unemployment and drawing unemployment because he wouldn't accept jobs that he thought were beneath him. To think that this man would believe any job is beneath him is mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing. This guy needs money, but he also knows if I don't have a job, I don't have to worry about paying those back. I can just say, well, I gotta have a job before I can pay him. That's Lorne logic. I'd pay him off, I just ain't got a job. And we know that he proudly showed Casey that he was defaulting his loans because he wanted to get his credit back up. I cannot explain how badly he needs a life coach, someone to stand by him at all times, someone to advise him, hold his hand. Unfortunately, he's looking for a woman that can replace his mom, and I talked about Emma being a stand-in for his mom, and he's always looking for somebody to be his mom. Ramona, you and Mom told me to file bankruptcy. When his mom is gone, who's going to tell him what to do? Who's going to give him advice that he's actually going to listen to? Who's he going to cling to? Is it going to be Roy? Roy's got a fucked up life right now. Is he going to try to seek out his siblings? I don't think so. I think Lorne's life is going to collapse completely. I don't know what he's going to do. I think Lorne's the kind of guy that could go to a homeless shelter, eat there, live off of them, and not feel guilty. He would reason that he needed to be there 365 days a year, and nobody else did because he's Lorne Armstrong, and he would tell him about NBC, he would tell him about the Sting, and that's why he needed to have a cot there, and he needed to eat there. Again, he survives in environments where everything is handed to him. So prison is the best option for this guy. Nothing has changed. He's still the same douchebag. Next year, if I continue to make videos, if you guys still watch them and care for them, I think I'll be talking about, in these new calls, because we know there's got to be some coming, in these new calls, even if they're just emails back and forth, he'll be doing the same things, same excuses, same reasoning, same lies. We know he's not going to change. Truth be told, I don't think any of us want him to change now. We want him to pay for what he's done. We want him to be punished the way he should be punished. All those years of rage and drinking and completely ignoring his probation and getting 6 months in jail? 6 months after everything he did. The guy should have been put away for a long time. He couldn't pass his rape class. Probably still hasn't actually passed it. He can't say what he learned. I love it when he says he can't bring up specifics. And I'll leave it with this. If Lorne really can't recall specifics, which we know he can because he remembers everything that the Catfish women say. I can't recall her specifics, Casey, but we had that conversation. No, Lorne, it was you and Jamie. No, we did. I've got the date. It was 6 months and 2 days ago, where I've got it in a text message, so he can only recall things he wants to. I want you to try an experiment, because I do this with my videos. It's fun. I'll record my videos, And then when I'm done, whenever I park and I go inside wherever I'm going, I listen to them. And I can remember where I was when I said those things. It's very weird. A lot of us can do it. You remember what part of the drive you were on when you actually said that line. So I think part of Lorne's memory is when he's speaking, when he's actually talking about it. When something significant happens, he will remember that because that was something that to him was a unique moment. It was a moment that he can recall easily because of how he felt. We talked about how his emotions affect his memories. But to not be able to recall specifics on the most important thing in your life, the thing that's preventing you from moving on, is absolute bunch of horse shit. No longer should he be allowed to say, I can't recall specifics, because if he was to tell his rape class teacher in rehab, if he was to talk to his probation officer, anyone, and said, well, you know, I did learn, I just can't recall what I've learned, that would be grounds for instant jail time, in my opinion. He needs to learn, and he can't learn unless you sit him down and make him learn. Put him in an environment where he has no choice. He had all that time in prison the first time to reflect, and he never understood that it was his fault. So someone needs to do something. They either need to take him to the doctor and check for early signs of dementia, they need to check for past strokes, they need to check to see if he's got lowered cognitive function for another reason, his nutrition, whatever it is. Someone needs to do something. Brain damage from drinking, because if this guy really can't recall specifics, there's a health problem and it needs to be handled. I've got more videos coming out this week. Please have a happy and safe holidays. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, this